People pleasing and overplanning. This is how I overcame it as someone with ADHD. Hey, my name's Gaia, and I give you long-term natural solutions to your ADHD so you can have the most blissful and easeful life and let go of the ADHD symptoms and struggle. And Luna is here. You're not in the microphone anymore. Hello, my sweet soul. My bear. I was all set to record this, and then a chicken got loose right out there. I have a chicken coop right outside my door. This has never happened. She just flew right out the pen. So I was about to record and said I was chasing a sweet little hen around the property with a towel, trying to grab her. She would not have it, so I squatted down, was like, I'll just coax her into her pen where her hen mates are waiting. She would not have it, so she's still on the loose out there. I'm trying to keep my eye on her, but if you hear chicken sounds, that would be why. I'm just going to jump into the topic, the theme of putting yourself first. What do you want? And I know I heard that so much in my life, like, put yourself first, fill your own cup first. You're like, right, okay, I'm going to go do my self-care, do those things. And that wasn't what it was at all. Because I was still doing that because someone told me to do it. That you should go do face masks. You should have a cozy night in and watch a movie and have a nice cup of tea. You should, take an hour for yourself every morning, an hour for yourself every evening to meditate and do your 5-minute journal. You should do these things because that's important. That's self-care. That's filling your cup. And I would do these things, or I'd try to do these things. I would try to do the face masks and the bubble baths. I'm like, it just felt so heavy and hard to do. It felt like so many steps. It felt so overwhelming. It felt like just another thing I would add to my list of right, when I have time, do that, and make sure you do that because these are all important. And to be honest, it just felt so big and heavy because I didn't like it. I was like, why don't I like bubble baths? Why don't I like face masks? Why am I finding it so hard to just sit on my couch and read a book and drink a cup of tea like everyone else says you're supposed to do, right? The self-care. Am I not giving myself self-care? I felt so inadequate in the self-care category because what I heard I was supposed to do, I wasn't doing. And if you can relate, or maybe you do love bubble baths, but you're like, yeah, I try to do the self-care, but it just feels so heavy and hard and everything, and it just gets pushed aside. You're not alone. We're looking at this filling your own cup wrong because we're not asking ourselves what we want. And that was so true for me. So true for me. Kept looking externally for all of the answers, for what I should be doing, what is right, what would feel good, what would move me forward, what would make life easier, all of the things. But that's not true. It has to come from within me. This morning I got up, I was like, I just really feel like going rock climbing. So I'm like, I'll message some friends, hope we can go outside, otherwise I can do indoor climbing. And I messaged a few friends. One couldn't. The others I haven't heard back from yet. And I was like, that's okay. I really just want to go. It just feels light. It feels fun. I'm going to go. Even if it's indoor, I can still climb solo just with how the gym's set up there. It's amazing. I have my plan. It's going to feel great. And then I let it go and went on with my day. I'm filming this for you now. But past me would have not done it that way at all. I would have been like, I want to go rock climbing today and message everyone. And it would essentially plan my day and have 3 backup plans for my day of okay, well, in case this person can only go at this time and this person can go at that time, or maybe we'll go indoor, maybe we'll go outdoor, but I'm going to wait till see what they say, what they want. And then, but if no one wants to go, then should I go rock climbing my solo or should I not? And I would have this internal debate forever in my mind. So maybe I'd create backup plans for myself. And what would end up panning out is I would hold so much of this internal dialogue, this internal planning, and actual external planning, all these backup plans. There's always this like conditional plan, like a flow chart, if you will. Like, if this happens, I'll do this. If this happens, do this. But if that doesn't happen, I can go over here and do this. I wasn't even asking what I wanted to do. And often in the end, I would end up staying at home, not going out and feeling like, oh, I'll just, continue working. That's what I would always do. I'll just keep working. That's comfortable. That's easy. It's what I know. I wouldn't do anything on my to-do list. I wouldn't do my self-care. I wouldn't do anything. I would just do what I always knew because it was easy, and everything else felt so overwhelming, and it required more planning and more steps. And that was my life. And if something did pan out with the plans I created, it was still so stressful and overwhelming because I was trying to coordinate everything and everyone. And there's so many layers to that story, those instances, but the theme of it and what I really want you to pull from this is I wasn't asking what I wanted, ever. At the beginning, it's like, yeah, I want to go rock climbing. But then I'd be like, okay, but I need to make sure it happens according to this idea in my mind, or this ideal of it's going to be outdoors with these people. Okay, well, I need to make sure I know their schedules. If that doesn't work, well, maybe we can do this because that could also work. Or what about this? Versus just coming back to what I originally wanted, to go rock climbing because it just felt right and fun and easy. I'd wake up and I knew what I wanted to do. And then it would get lost. I'd get lost in the planning, the steps, the ideal, what I should do or what it should look like. I was always following something else. I was always searching for the next biohacking trick to improve my life and my health. I was always searching for how to be more productive so I could just do more, because if I did more, then my side business at the time would go to full-time. Then I would make all the money that I've always wanted. Then I'd get better results, then I get the appreciation, the recognition. If I, just had more friends, then I would feel fully loved. I'd feel accepted. Would feel I belonged. I kept looking externally for what I thought I needed to learn, what I thought I needed to do, how my life should be, who I needed to be. And I never asked myself what I wanted. I never put myself first. And it's weird because if I would have told myself that, like say 3 years ago, I would have been like, no, I always put myself first. I'm selfish. Because I was always told growing up that I was selfish. I always put myself first, of course, because I'm selfish. But I really didn't. That was this shame and shadow I was carrying, which I anchored into to believe that lie that I did put myself first. But in actuality, I just never felt like I was enough, that my life, what I was doing was right and enough and good enough. Like I was always striving for something. So I'd always look externally for what I needed to be doing, what I should be doing, who I should be. I remember in university, I felt like going through an identity crisis, and this probably continued, I'm trying to remember, into my 20s after, of I'm going to wear this clothes and have this aesthetic and this look to me so I can be part of this hipster clique, or I can be part of this skateboard clique, or I can be, those artsy people. I was always trying to be someone else. Because I was oh, I resonate with those people. I should be like them. Then I'll feel comfortable and feel at home and feel at peace. And every time, I would get different clothes, wear my hair different, talk different, listen to certain music, hang out with certain people. I was it felt so dull because it wasn't me. It felt heavy. I couldn't keep it up. I felt like I was just faking it all the time. Ask myself, what do I want to do? What feels good for me? And maybe I'd wake up and be like, I really want to go to the museum today. I'm just going to do a little solo trip. But then, I'd follow through and I'd be at the museum and I'd be like, oh my God, okay, well, this is awkward by myself. I should be doing something else. Oh my God, there are a group of friends here together. I should be here with friends. Or, oh, I did this wrong. I should be spending more time at the museum. I was only here an hour. I should spend 3 hours. I should be reading all the things. I should be like going for tea after and thinking about what I just saw at the museum or whatever. I would, for that moment, put myself first. What do I want? But then it would always be layered with, I'm doing this wrong. What should I be doing? This isn't right. It should look like this. It should look like that. I should be this. I should be that. I should be like them. I wanted to be anyone but me. Because I thought who I wasn't right. It wasn't enough. So I kept looking externally. And this just exacerbated all the ADHD symptoms. Like everything I now look back on my life, I was like, oh my God. All those were the ADHD symptoms that I made worse because I would always be looking externally, always following the shoulds. And I did this, so much in my business. And my business is really an extension of my life. So I come back to these examples a lot where I just think recently hiring a business coach. I was like, okay, my business is not where I want it to be, and it should be, right? For all the things I'm doing, facts on paper, I should be somewhere else with my business. So I hired this coach. He's like, well, you just need to implement this strategy. Like you just have a few key points, and you'll be making like tons of money. Like amazing. I followed it to a T, and it didn't work. It didn't work at all. To be honest, I didn't sign any clients during that period of time with that coach. Didn't make any money. And he was promising me a lot of money. He's like, it works for every other person I've worked with. He's like, I don't know why it's not working for you. And I burnt out again during that time with that coach. Showing up on the calls felt so heavy and inauthentic. Even my business started to feel like inauthentic, where it turned into this business that I'm like, do I have to do this every day? Like, when can I stop doing what you're telling me to do? Because this isn't fun anymore. This literally is draining me and feels so robotic. I fell back into my old pattern of like, well, clearly, like there's something wrong with me. Like if I literally, have this golden solution, it's still not working for me. I'm doomed. Like, what's wrong with me? Why can't I do this? I should completely switch my businesses. I should jump ship. And that was my pattern for years, literally years in my business of like, I'm doing this strategy that I said would work. It's not working for me. What's wrong with me? Why can't I do this? I will never be like them. I need to be more like them. What else should I be doing? And I fell into that mindset again. This was just late last year. And I was like, no, that's not true. And I have done so much inner work on this to be able to jump out of that and be like, that's not true. Yeah, it's weird that the strategy is not working for me. But if it doesn't feel right, I should really question that and ask myself what I want. And I did. And at the time I didn't know the answer. I just knew I didn't want my business to be like that. So I ended up hiring a different coach, not quite a business coach that I've known in the past, but more of an embodiment coach to show me that I can run my business a completely different way that feels good for me, that feels like my truth, and it can be wildly successful. And if you don't have a business, you're like, I don't quite relate with the business. What I want you to hear from this is this new coach I hired wasn't giving me her strategy. She wasn't giving me this golden strategy that I've perfected with everyone I worked with, like previous times. And there's nothing wrong with that. Strategy is still needed in business and whatnot. But she helped me come back to who I am and who I truly was at my core and who I also wanted to be and continue to step into. And that was, in business terms, the strategy was just, who are you? What do you want? And I still ask myself that question some days, and I'm like, who am I? At the time, I did not know. It was a big unraveling process of diving deep. But the question I would come back to and came back to again this morning and throughout the day is, what do I want? What do I want? Not even what do I need or who am I? It's like, what do I effing want? What do I want? And I'd follow it up with, who do I want to be? Who do I want to be today? What feels so right to me? Because you come first. You always have and you always will. You are the only you, 100% unique. You don't need to do things an ADHD way. You just need to do things your way. And as soon as I started tuning out things in all areas of my life, like now the current thing is business and just tuning out what everyone else is doing and asking myself what feels right for me. What do I want? What does that look like for me? But previous times in my life I use as examples to reinforce that this is true, that does work. When I used to bodybuild, I didn't follow anyone else. I just did what felt right for me, and I was very successful with it. I earned a professional status in it. And people always ask, like, how did you do it? I was like, I tuned out everything and asked myself what I wanted, what felt right, and did it my way. And it was easy. There was so much ease to it. And this is what I fell in the trap of my entire life, and what I see in clients' lives and what I see online with other ADHDers is that life isn't easy. It's not easeful at all. It's a struggle. And we keep looking externally for, like, okay, what's the next strategy, the checklist I need, the hack, right? We're going day by day, and it's always a struggle because we're always looking outside of ourselves for what should I be doing? What would make this work for me? Why is this hard? And then we literally fall into the belief that I'm not enough and I'll never be enough, that I'm not good enough. I'll always struggle. I'll always have a quote unquote a disability. And that's not true at all. It's because we're looking externally, outside of ourselves, and outside for the truth, and the truth is within us. Yeah, someone's checklist may be so phenomenal for them because they've asked themselves first, what would make this easy? What's right for me? What do I want? And that may not be true for you. Everyone's unique. No one's like you. So what do you want? What do you want today? What do you want in this moment? What do you want in your life? And know that you can have that. And then who do you want to be? Who are you at your core? It's not about doing more, layering more things on and strategies on. It's about coming back to who you are at your core. It's taking or stripping away all the onion layers that have left you where you are right now, and just peeling them all back to be like, who am I at my core, and what does he or she want? That's where the answers lie. It's a simplification process, a removal process, not an adding in process, not a doing more process at all. And we have this all wrong, and especially in the ADHD space. It's not about the checklist or the strategies or trying to be more efficient or get more done. It's the complete opposite. The opposite's always the medicine, and always has been, always will be. It's about simplifying, removing, detoxifying, clarifying, coming back to who you are and what you want. Because you can't pour from an empty cup at all. It always comes with you. Whether you have a spouse, a partner, kids, you always come first. You can't fully give to anyone or be who you want to be, who you truly are, if you don't ask yourself what you want first. And that's a whole other topic, but it's true. And I've seen this so much in my own life and in others. Because as soon as you put someone else first, the resentment comes. Not enoughness comes. The shoulds come up. And you've detached from what you want and who you are. So I'm giving you permission to do things your way, not anyone else's way. To ask yourself what you want every morning, every day. What do you want? Put you first. I used to always give action steps at the end of my videos. And really what I want you to implement is to listen to this and really hear this and know that the answer's within you. It's embodying who you truly are. And yeah, it's a process. It's not supposed to be rushed. It's supposed to be fun and unraveling. And the action step I want you to take is to not do what I do, not do what I tell you to do. Do what feels right for you. And ask yourself what you want. That's where it starts. And I love you so much. Thank you for being here. And if you want to dive deeper on this, if you want to work closely in a one-to-one container with myself, I do have some spots opening for one-to-one coaching. I'll link it below on how you can apply and learn more of what that will look like. And this is where we get to go really deep. Find out who you are. What is your truth? Do the unraveling process. What has been keeping you stuck in the struggle cycle for your entire life? And start to strip that all away so life can be easeful and blissful and joyful and everything that you've dreamed of, even if you thought those dreams were impossible. Yeah, because ADHD isn't a thing in my life anymore, because I came back to who I am and what feels right for me. Lastly, if you're not quite sure on the coaching, not quite a fit for you, please reach out. Please connect with me. I love connecting with you. And I'll drop those links below on how to connect with me. And you'll definitely want to join my free show I host every week. It's live. It's on Thursdays at 5:45 p.m. Pacific time. And I have a live Q&A. So you can ask any questions you have on live and get a response from me. And I would love it so much if you hit subscribe and like. It doesn't cost you anything, of course. But it's an algorithm. It helps me reach more folks like yourself who need to hear this message today. I love you. I'll see you next week.